How y'all doing? Well, I got off of work today and I thought I need to take a little old walk. Most of my time sitting in the truck watching these fellas build the substation so we can keep the electricity on for you. So I thought when I got to my RV park here, I'm gonna go take a little walk through the woods. Probably make me feel a little bit better going through the woods anyway. Anyway, I'm up here at a little old RV park outside of Hubbard, Texas, which is kind of between Hillsboro and Corsicana. I thought what I would do is, as I walk, that I would talk. I like to talk, y'all know that. So anyway, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about what this channel is all about now that I've put on for several weeks. How the West was once. I want to concentrate on the Old West and specifically a lot of Texas Ranger stuff. Some of y'all know that I have a living history group that I kind of head up called Los Diablo Tejanos, the Devil Texans. And I've mentioned on one of the content days that we had that the Mexicans and the Indians alike, that's kind of what they nicknamed the Texas Rangers, the Devil Texans, because they fought like the devil. Each one of the guys that's in my group has chosen a somewhat famous or well-known ranger, and I may have already mentioned that I do Captain Jack Coffee Hayes. He was a little shorter and smaller man, a lot more quieter than what I am, but he's the one that really started that nickname, because when he fought like the devil. And a little later on, I'll do a program on the Patterson, which he helped get for the Texas Rangers, and it really changed warfare. That was the first revolver that worked out pretty good, and they went from firing a rifle and then firing two single-shot pistols to a single-shot rifle, and they usually carried two Pattersons, 5 shots each. So anyway, that I don't want to give all that away, but this last week I put on a little old camping trip, and there was nothing historical about it. But if we don't get the young kids and these young men involved with what we're doing, it don't matter if we got the Old West or the New West or what it is, it's going to be gone. So, a little spot right here, it's kind of like a little cave. Yeah, we need to teach these boys, and those young boys right there and their daddy the boys never had been camping or hunting, and I think their daddy's been camping a few times, but anyway, and then the grandpa came in, and my son-in-law Patrick, we had a great time, and I think we taught those boys a little bit of something, and we taught them how much fun it was to be camping with just a bunch of men, and they're going to want to go back. That's something they're not going to forget. And like I mentioned, my wife, that was her first husband's son, Cody, Ed Gover. He passed away a few years ago. Bless his heart, he had Alzheimer's, and we always got along pretty good, raising the kids and all. So like I mentioned, them two little old boys, they think me and Patty's just another set of grandparents, and we like that. We think it is. They got a little sister, and you know, she falls right in too. So anyway, that's kind of my thinking, that every once in a while you're going to see something that's not necessarily the Old West. It's going to be a camping trip that's more modern. I've got 2 or 3 boys that are, I'll say boys, they're young men that are interested in joining the Texas Rangers Living History group. And that's what we're shooting for, because most of my group we average in our mid 60s and up, and we can't do what them young fellas do. So they are real excited, and I'm going to be having a meeting with those guys, and one of these days pretty soon you may see some different faces. We've got a couple right now that are younger guys that portray Bigfoot Wallace, Rip Ford. Those were a couple of very, very well-known rangers. So that's how we and myself plan on keeping the West alive. We don't really do gunfight shows, although we can, but we're more into the living history. Just so you guys will know, and in case you're interested, I'll be mentioning dates on here. We have a deal at White Settlement coming up next month that is, I think it's around the 10th. It's just a one-day thing that some of my people will be there doing a walk around, meet and greet. They'll be wearing their historically correct clothes. And then the very next weekend, we will be at Acton, which is out by Granbury, and we do Davy Crockett. His wife is married there, or is buried there, and they have a school day on Friday. We'll have hundreds of kids get bussed in, and we'll teach them about the Old West, and our ladies teach crocheting and candle making. That's a big popular one, and the art of the fan, how they used to flirt with that, and we have a good time, and then it's open to the public on Saturday. So we got that coming up. We'll be in Winsboro later on in the fall. We have a big one down in or up in Graham at Fort Belknap. It's another Living History Days, and it's a big one. We've got cannon fire going on, and our group will be there. The Texian Army, which is some good friends of ours, will be there, and they'll be firing their muskets, and it's a great time. It's another one of those deals where on Friday they bust kids in from all over the place. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, that's kind of what this whole group is. This whole YouTube page is going to be about Texas history. Now, I got to thinking the other day about Texas history and how the West was once and the Texas Rangers, and I thought, I've got some friends from up north and west that are full-blood Indians, and I got to thinking about Texas, and without the Hispanic population and the Indian population, well, we're not telling the story of Texas. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. We have a big invitation-only photo shoot that's going to be coming up. I think it's going to be in October, and some of those people will be coming down. They come from all over the place. They're the ones that showed us how to put up a teepee last year. When they got there and saw how the Caucasians put the teepee up, they got a good laugh out of it. The next thing you knew, they were taking one of them down and showing us how to put it up the right way. I slept in that thing for 2 nights. It was great, to tell you the truth, because I kind of felt I was down by the river, and I kind of felt like I was actually really living it. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff you'll see on this page. I'm not going to be trying to script anything, so I'll stutter and mess up and all that stuff, but if you know me, that's me. So anyway, there's no telling what we'll see on here. If you think of something that you'd like me to talk about, I've got some good ranger books. I may sit down and just read out of that book sometimes, some weeks. We'll try to post every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. That's what we're doing right now. And I may just read a story about some of the Texas Ranger battles. And there's some pretty famous stuff out there. So anyway, as I made my little walk down through these woods here. I'm feeling better already. I just want to let y'all know kind of what my thinking was on this last week's post, and this week let everybody know what's going on. And anyway, if you come across something you want me to talk about, put it in the comments. And I'm gonna give you a big please to subscribe to this thing, because the more people that subscribe, the more people that are going to see it and maybe want to subscribe. And you know, the monetizing deal, that's just extra icing on the cake if that ever comes about, or some sponsors, you know. But we're going to have a good time with it. One of the things I was going to mention was, you know, when we do go ranger camping or whatever, it ain't like the old days where you hunted and shot what you needed to kill to eat. We can't do that anymore because of the different seasons that's going on. So a lot of times I'll be just cooking something that I had in the freezer from the last season or something like that. Maybe if some of these meat companies want to send me a little bit of some elk or some bison or something like that, you know, that I can throw on the fire, that'll be nice. But it ain't necessary. Sometimes, if the season's right, I might throw a rabbit on there or a squirrel, or who knows. When the cold weather gets here, I see a lot of these YouTube pages, they're cooking coons and possums and stuff. You know, that was part of history. I'm not above it. So anyway, I'm gonna keep on walking here and just shut my mouth for a few minutes. They got a little old lake down here that I may try to get to and see if there's anything around it, any ducks or anything like that. So anyway, I'm gonna turn the camera around and just continue walking. There's a bunch of rabbits here that I see. There's I don't know if you can see up in there, there's a rabbit hole right up in there. And they're everywhere at night. When I leave at work in the morning, it's still dark. And there's rabbits running everywhere. There's a big old rabbit hole. Big old hole of something right there. My phone just went into it. Well, wasn't that fun? My phone just popped into it. I may have to come down here and wet a hook. I got my old cane pole. Anyway, thank y'all for listening, and I give a big old shout out to Kai Kelly, my granddaughter-in-law, who is the editor for all the content. And like I said, she puts this thing out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Tuesdays at 2 o'clock is when it all hits. So tell your friends, go in there, subscribe, and See you next week.